Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Climer, the creator of Climer Cards, and in this video I want to show you how to use virtual Climer Cards for in-person keynotes. It works really well when you have a big room of people and you want to get them interacting and engaging around the content or whatever you're talking about, but it's a situation where using the physical deck of Climer Cards wouldn't quite work. Passing these out to 500 people, I mean, you could do it, but it's a little bit of a logistical challenge. But the virtual Climer Cards app works great. So let me show you how to set that up and how to make it happen. First thing you need to do is go into virtual Climer Cards and set up the session that you're going to do. And if you don't know how to do that, there are other videos that I'll link down below that will show you how to set that up. So once you have your session set up, then you're going to make a QR code with the link from this session. So you're going to go over here to click to copy link, and you'll see in the bottom left it just says link copied, so it's automatically copied. And then you're going to go over here to QR Code Monkey, and you can actually use any QR code service you want. This is the one that I happen to use. I like it. It's easy. It's free. Okay, so to make a QR code, you're going to put the URL that you just copied, the link, you're going to put it right there. And then the cool thing that I like about this particular QR code service is that there's a lot of options. There's a lot of ways you can customize the look and the feel of your QR code. So I could just leave it like this, and if I hit create QR code, it will create one that's just plain black, very simple. But I like to get a little fancy and change the colors. So I like to do a gradient, and so I'm going to put in the number, which happens to be the number for the blue in Climer Cards, which you can see right there on the screen, 115A78. You're welcome to use that number if you want. That's the hex code. And then I like to, you can customize the design down here with just basically make it look however you want. I really like circles, so I often will click in circles, and then just, you can kind of play around, like see which one of these you like. And then you can also add a logo image in here. And so if you actually want to put the Climer Cards logo in the middle of the QR code, I will put a link below to that logo. And so you're welcome to download it and then upload it here in the QR code just to make it look a little extra fancy. Okay, and you can see the logo right there. Okay, so I've got everything set, and then all I do is go over here and in the green button, click Create QR Code. And, okay, one thing I didn't do is I want to remove the background behind the logo. Otherwise, you can't see it. So you're going to click that little check mark there, and then hit the green Create QR Code button again, and boom, there is your QR code. And let's say you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't really like the design. I want to change that up. Maybe you want to have these like 3 circles instead, and then like this square. Just click it and then create QR code again, and it looks like that. So you can really have fun with it. Then once you're done, you're going to download the PNG. And there's an ad. That's what you have to deal with for a free service, which is fine. We've got the QR code downloaded. So now I want to show you the actual slides that I used in a recent, I used virtual Climer Cards in an in-person TEDx event. And in between many of the speeches, we had some interactive components, and one of those was virtual Climer Cards. So I was the MC, and it worked really well. So I'm going to show you the actual slides we used for that event, and I'll show you like how to facilitate that and where to put the QR code. All right, so here we are. These are the slides, not this one, of course, but all right. So the first one was we just had like this general image of, or these general directions, and I was just telling everyone to think about this question of what insight you've had so far today. And then I told them they were going to need their phone. And we had specifically told them to put away their phone because we were recording the TEDx talks and so forth. So now I'm telling them, like, pull out their phone. And then I showed them what virtual Climer Cards would look like. So we actually did a demo of the entire, of the platform. And I was emceeing on stage. I had actually had somebody off stage who was like scrolling through, but basically was telling them or showing them how to click on an image and write in their response and so forth. If you're watching this video, you probably already know how to do that, so I'm not going to show you that specifically. And then we put this up, and we said, okay, here's the link, And here's the QR code. And you can see that this is not the exact QR code in the link that I just created, but I put that up there. I actually explained and walked through how to use a QR code because I was assuming that not everybody would have understood that. There was a range of experiences and ages in the audience, and so I just walked through like how to use a QR code with your phone. And I told people if it's not working on your phone, don't worry, you can just type that in. And if you don't have a phone with you for whatever reason, if you're with somebody else, after they enter their response, they can pass you the phone, and then you can enter your response on the phone. Or I try to give them lots of options here. If they didn't have a phone, they weren't comfortable borrowing one from someone, or no one was loaning them a phone, then as people were just working on their phone, entering the responses, we put the images from Climer Cards back up on the screen, and then we just had them scrolling through so that people could just basically just pick, we just had them scrolling through like this so people could just, mentally pick whichever one they wanted. Because really all this was about was them having that conversation with the other person that they were next to, just to get them talking, right? So it didn't actually matter. It wasn't that important that they put their response in the app. And then we put these directions up. After I saw there was critical mass and people have responded, and so we put these directions up that just basically said pair up, take about a minute each, share your name, and then which response what response you selected, which card you selected. And I just had this fun thing, the person with the longest hair goes first. You can, I like to mix that up. You can skip that altogether or put something fun in there, maybe something relevant to your event, whatever it is that you're doing. After that, what we had is we invited people to come up to a mic if they wanted to share with everybody. And so we had time for a few people to share. You can do this if you want for your event or not. It sort of just depends on the context. But that was just a fun thing that we wanted to add. Now, this next slide I'm going to show you was not part of the actual TEDx event. Well, actually, no, I take that back. It kind of was. Basically, I'm going to show you the responses here. So this is what the responses looked like. This is just a screenshot of them. And what we did is, as people came up to the mic and shared, the person who was behind the scenes tried to find their response and then put that up on the screen. It's not critical that happens, and it's okay if you don't have another person to help you. That's okay if it's not happening. But let me just talk about a similar situation of when this was used. So what I was just explaining was a way to get people to interact at a TEDx event, and really any in-person conference where you want people interacting and you think people will likely have a cell phone, this will work well. Another time that it worked really well is also at a conference, a different one, and we had a keynote speaker that was really heavy, and it was appropriate. It was the topic was really heavy. We were talking about race, and she was sharing her experiences of living in Minneapolis and some of the racism that she'd experienced recently up there. And I was actually emceeing, and when she finished, it would have been really tacky if I walked up and yeah, let's give her another round of applause. Not cool, because the demeanor in the room was just pensive and thoughtful, and people were, completely engaged and listening. And we wanted to keep that going a bit and capture that and let people kind of sit with their feelings and process them a little bit, and not just rush past it and pretend oh, everything's fine. So what we did is we used virtual Climer cards, but we used the emotion words. Let me show you. So these are the results from some of the responses at that particular event. And it was great because it gave people an opportunity to share their emotions. And you can see just on the screen, a really wide range of emotions. And then from there, they were able to pair up and talk a little bit. And not everybody wanted to pair up. Some people just wanted some quiet time to sit. And so I had the responses just slowly scrolling up on the screen as people were sharing. And I could tell that some people really were appreciating that. And we got lots of responses, lots of comments afterwards about doing this after that particular keynote. It just worked really well to let people kind of be in their emotions and that's okay, and let that be okay. All right, so I shared with you a couple examples of how you can use virtual Climer cards for in-person events. Both like a higher energy, like reflective event like TEDx, but also something heavier where you want people to like think and grapple with their emotions and what's going on in their head. So again, you're going to use, basically going to create that QR code and then just put the QR code up on the slide. And that just helps make things a little bit quicker so people can just view the QR code and go right to the page, the web page. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you haven't used virtual Climer cards and you want to, definitely sign up. You get a free account. Your account is free for the first 30 days. And then after that, it's actually very inexpensive. And there are so many great uses for them. There's some other videos that I'll link down below on how to use virtual Climer cards. And at least as of this recording in 2022, I am doing free monthly workshops on using virtual Climer cards. So I'll put the link down below so that you can sign up, and love to see you in one of those workshops. All right, thanks. Bye.